Greetings, dear viewers. I am Osaki Neni Iba, a postgraduate student of the University of Boya on the Faculty of Education. Our course title is Educational Administration and Planning, and our course code is FR 605. Our topic is Ethical Issues on Educational Administration, Functions of Principals, and Roles of Teachers. I'll pass the baton to the next speaker, who is going to give a broad introduction on our topic.
Educational administration is the management and leadership of educational institutions such as schools, colleges, and universities. It's about seeing the overall daily operations, making strategic decisions, and ensuring institutional goals which aligns with educational objectives. Ethical issues in education is a situation where there is a conflict that arises in managing schools and institutions. The principal and the teacher play a vital role in educational administrations. Before we talk about some ethical key issues in educational administration, let's look at ethical framework in educational administration. First, we'll see the ethics of justice, which is all about fairness and rule and equity in educational administration.
Another point on ethical framework is ethics of profession. Professional ethics are the moral principles that guide a profession, ensuring that members behave with integrity, honesty, and respect. Here are some of the professional ethics we have observed. First of all, one of them is integrity, respect, accountability, confidentiality, and professional development. We also have teaching ethics, creating a safe learning environment. Another ethical framework is ethics of care. Ethics of care is all about prioritizing empathy, compassion, and the well-being of individuals like teachers, students, and even the community. Educational institution also showing care and compassion, that is being kind to both the teachers and also the students. We also have interdependence, which is recognizing our connections and responsibility towards each other.
In educational administration, we have some key ethical issues that need to be addressed. And one of the key ethical issues are equity and access. And when we talk of equity and access, we mean that learners have equal opportunities to the resources, to everything that entails the school environment. And they have access to the libraries, they have access to the electronics, they have access to anything that entails the school environment. But that is not the case in Cameroon schools. When you go to the schools in suburb, you realize that there is no equity and access. Some of these schools do not have equal opportunities, or they do not have equal access to materials which are being shared by the Ministry of Education. For example, some trained teachers are not willing to go to the suburb to teach. They want to be around the urban areas. And equally, access to the library. You realize that most of the schools which are in the suburb do not have libraries. It is not like there are no textbooks, but they don't have libraries. So the students don't have access to library. So we are saying that if all schools they can have access to libraries, they can have access to qualified teachers, it will make a good educational system.
Another key ethical issue is accountability and assessment. Accountability in educational administration basically refers to the responsibility of teachers, school administrators, students, and educational authorities to ensure quality teaching and learning outcomes. It involves being answerable for how well educational goals are achieved. Assessment in educational administration, on the other hand, is basically the systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information about students' teaching and learning. Accountability in education often revolves around standardized testing and performance evaluation. Administrators must therefore ensure that assessments are fair and reflect students' abilities accurately. These are key ethical issues have some implications. And one of those implications is that it gives pressure and stress to the teachers. And here we realize that excessive accountability tied to testing results may create anxiety and fatigue among the teachers. Another implication here is that teachers may neglect holistic education and focuses only on examinable contents. And to resolve some of these issues, let's talk about resolutions, if I may put it this way. One of them is that there should be some sort of comprehensive assessment systems. And by comprehensive assessment system here, we are referring to the fact that the administrators should make sure that the teachers make use of multiple assessment methods. For example, they should make use of formative evaluation, summative evaluation, diagnostic evaluation, and all this will go a long way to reduce over-reliance on high-stakes examinations. Another important way forward is supportive evaluation system. And by this, we are saying that implementing a growth-oriented evaluation process can help teachers to improve without fear of punitive actions. Another key ethical issue is ethical leadership. And by ethical leadership in educational administration, it basically means educational administrators should administer or should make decisions based on moral values and reflect others, and they should reflect others. When we talk of moral values here, we are referring to aspects like honesty, integrity, and fairness. Leadership in education involves making decisions that are ethical and just. Administrators must therefore model ethical behaviors that promotes positive school culture and inspires trust. This ethical issue also have some implications. And one of those implications is trust and transparency. Now, it is a problem here because ethical lapses can damage trust among staff, students, and the community at large. This will go a long way to weaken their confidence in the school. Decision making is also
Another key ethical issue is bullying and harassment. Bullying and harassment has deeply affected students' academic performances. So, educational administrators have come up with some responsibilities to address this situation. And also, bullying and harassment has both a positive and negative implication. One of the negative implications is mental health. Mental health has a great impact on students on bullying and harassment because it tends out to affect the mental health of students, thus affecting their learning styles to an academic performance. Another implication is training programs. Implementing training programs will teach empathy and conflict resolution, which will foster a positive school culture. Another ethical principle is political influences and curriculum controversies. Political pressure can influence curriculum decision and educational policies. Administrators often face ethical dilemma when balancing educational goals, and its implication, one of the implications of this principle is promoting dialogues. Encouraging open discussion about controversial topics fosters a culture of respect and understanding. And another implication is freedom of expression. Important topics could be omitted from the curriculum due to political pressure, hindering students' critical thinking. Thank you.
Talking on some key ethical issues in educational administration, and firstly we have professional ethics and conduct. Administrators must portray good conduct. That is, they must be transparent when making decisions, they must be accountable for their actions, and they must uphold ethical standards. Administrators' conduct can affect an institution in that it may tarnish the reputation of the institution, and it may affect students' enrollment. So One of the resolution strategy to this is that school administrators should be transparent, they should be honest, and they should portray good conduct.
I will continue with ethical issues. The next ethical issue is teacher rights and dismissal. Education administration face complex situations regarding teachers. Some of the implications here are due process is when teachers have a right to fair treatment and dismissal. Another implication is the impact of teaching, where there is an unjust dismissal or maltreatment, which can lead to turnover rates affecting student learning environment. Some resolution for these implications are clear policies. When teachers establish clear policies and communication, it leads to evolution. Support system provides support to struggling teachers, may help them before dismissal. Another ethical issue is student security and data privacy. The use of technologies in schools today has improved student learning. We have some implications, which are the misuse of data. When data is misused in schools, students face difficulties in learning environment. Also, we have ethical use of data. Administrators must observe that data should be used ethically. Some resolution to these strategies are data.
Go.
Let's brief over some of the roles of a principal. One of the roles of a principal is community engagement. The engagement of agencies in the school milieu will further increase his chances of better management and running of the institution. Some of those agencies, we have the community, we have the churches, we have the community in which the students find themselves and their parents. The involvement of parents into students' day-to-day activities in school helps them to better manage students' behavior and all. Another key role of a principal is to enable teachers' training, to bring forth the development of teaching skills, and not just to let teachers be stagnant in one particular activity. You have to help them to better go into training, the arrangement of the attendance of conferences by some teachers. Like there are moments in the society where teachers are encouraged to attend to seminars. The government organized seminars for which teachers go there. They teach them about the new materials. If they are to add more materials into the teaching aid, they teach the teachers on how to use the materials in class so as to better manage the students. Another key role of a principal is to act as a mentor to a new teacher coming into his or her teaching institution. A new teacher may be transferred from one school or another and coming to a new school to meet a new principal. The principal acts as a mentor, like to guide the teacher into the new premises in which he or she finds herself, to better manage the students in which she's now handling with. Another key role of a principal is the implementation of state policies into the educational field. There are new regulations and new policies in which the Ministry of Higher Education may introduce into schools, and it is the role of the principal to implement those policies, to make sure that the policies are being used according to how the state wants them to be used in his or her agencies. Thank you very much.
I'm going to present the role of the principal. The principal occupies a pivotal area in the school, and whatever he does affects the effective functioning of the school. To begin with, we are going to look at educational leadership. With educational leadership, I'll divide it into two. We have vision and mission development and curriculum outside.
The vision describes the inspiring future goals, like students becoming lifelong learner, while the mission has to do with inspiring purposeful action. For example, the inclusive education for all the learners. Together, they form the roadmap with vision being the destination and mission being the compass. The principal of the school is the one who sets up this mission and vision that guides the direction of education. With curriculum outside, it has to do with continuous monitoring, reviewing and evaluating the curriculum to ensure that it is in line with goals of the school. He does this to ensure that for better improvement, so that the teachers can be effective and it also meets the learning outcome of the learners. Then we also have staff administrative management. They will divide it into two. We have staff management and allocation of resources. With staff management, the principal recruits teachers when needs be. He also trains them where they are inadequately trained. He also evaluates teaching and support staff. With allocation of resources, we have budgets that are allocated for the school. It's principally managed by the principal. The principal decides where or which area in the school needs more of this money, and he disburses it accordingly. Then lastly, we have the third point is we have student management. The principal ensures that he reinforces the principles, the laws, that the students' conduct should match with the laws and principles, ensuring that the learning environment is safe for learning. Then we also have the principal providing support services like counseling and also special education.
This advocacy can influence school policies and contribute to systematic change.
I'll be talking on the roles of the teacher. I'll begin with team collaboration. Teachers often collaborate with other teachers to enhance instructional practices. This collaboration can occur through team teaching, co-planning, which all help as teamwork, which allows the exchange of ideas, resources, and ultimately benefiting students. Again, teachers often engage with parents, which help in collaboration and fostering partnerships that support students' understanding and success. Another point is professional development. Teachers are often committed to lifelong learning, seeking opportunities to improve their knowledge and skills. They attend workshops, pursue certificates, and engage in peer learning to stay current with educational research, which helps benefit students. Another point is reflective practice. Reflection is a vital component of teachers' growth. By regularly assessing instructional methods, students understand what teachers teach, and they reflect, and which increases professional growth and access for overall growth of education. Another point is promoting inclusivity. Teachers play a vital role in promoting diversity and inclusivity within their classrooms. They create environments where all students can feel valued and respected regardless of their background. This helps professional growth and enhances overall quality of education. I'll also talk on building community connections. Teachers often participate in community initiatives, reinforcing schools' role in the community. This involvement can include organizing service projects, participating in local events, and collaborating with the community. Such efforts help to strengthen relationships between the school and the community, hence enhancing students' engagement and support.